Hey everybody, welcome to Pinball Pursuit. I'm Mrs. J.
And I'm Dr. C.
And today we're going to be going over our review of the latest machine that we have in our basement. It's Elvira's House of Horrors.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, so are we going to burn for Elvira?
Well, let's find out. Let's find out. You're going to know real quick if I'm burning or not.
I know, right? So this is the third game that we've had in our basement. Elvira's House of Horrors has a little bit of history. It is the third in a trilogy of Elvira pinball machines.
I knew that there were a few out there. I did not know that there were three, and I didn't know that this was number 3.
This is number 3. So the original was Elvira and the Party Monsters. And the second one was Elvira Scared Stiff.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit about the character of Elvira. She was birthed in 1981 as a character that would introduce late night LA bad horror movies to the masses. She caught on, became kind of a cult classic. So this game was designed by Dennis Nordman. The software was Lyman Sheats. I think it may have been his last game at Stern before he passed away.
Okay.
And then artwork was by Greg Freres. So, and currently, Elvira's House of Horror is at number 9 on Pinside's Top 100.
Really?
It is number 9.
Oh, well, interesting. I'm going to have some hot takes then.
Yes, you were going to have some hot takes. As always, we are going to do this with 5 categories. We have the theme, the look, the sound, the feel, and the play.
Yep.
And we rank everything from 1 to 5. Do you want to give a kind of a brief explanation of what 1 to 5 means?
Yes, so everybody must know I work in HR. So evaluating people and now pinball machines is what I do best. So the way that we do it at my company, this is not the way everybody does it. 1 is not great. Basically, if you're an employee, you're on your way out the door and you probably know it. And a 5 is basically an employee that we've never seen before, or a pinball machine in this case, that we've never seen before.
It's perfection.
It's perfection. And it's groundbreaking. It's the best thing you've ever played. Something definitely to write home about, you know. And then, so that's 1 to 5, but 3 is the middle ground, of course. And 3 is a meets expectations pinball machine. It's a pinball machine. It meets your expectations. It does what it needs to do. If you see it at an arcade, you're like, sure, I'll play that one. It's maybe not your main destination when going there, but it's a machine. I'll play it. So that's kind of, you know, how the lay of the land works when it comes to scoring. A 2, you know, not exactly up to snuff, and 4 is like, okay, this is better than your average machine. So that's how we will be scoring things along the way. And I do have a question for you.
Oh,
can we use decimal points?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
I love myself
No,
a good 0.5.
Yeah, no like 0.1.
I love myself a good 0.63.
No.
No, I'll keep it to 1 decimal point. You're welcome.
Okay, we can do that.
Yep.
So let's get started with the theme. The theme of Elvira's House of Horrors.
Yes.
Let's give your takes first.
Okay, this is why I asked about the decimal points, because I'm teetering between a 2.5 and a 3, and this is all just personal Jane Ann's thoughts. I don't love campy horror films. I don't love horror films in general. Don't know that I love Elvira herself. I have never watched Mystery Science Theater. Is that what it's called?
3000.
3000. No experience there. I just didn't feel like I connected with the theme. I did like the haunted housey aspect of it. That's why I think I'll give it a 3. Do I absolutely love it? No, but could I deal with it? Sure. Okay. So it's a middle of the road. It's a meet expectations. It's a theme. Don't hate it. don't want to go anything above. Don't hate it. So yeah.
Okay. For me, see, this is where I come a little bit weird. I like cheesy horror movies if they're being made fun of, right? And that's what I can really appreciate about Elvira. I think the comedy of the theme is really funny. But there's a property out there, and Mrs. J mentioned it, that does it better. And it's Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh.
Or MST3K.
Yeah.
If this were an MST3K machine, this would be getting like a 4 or 4.5 for me.
Okay.
With the same movies we're making fun of, same rule sets, but because it's Elvira, you know, not maybe the most child-friendly of themes.
Yeah.
Not that she's terrible or anything, but for me, there's just a better theme out there to get at the same type of idea, and that's MST3K. I mean, you can see it over there, but Mrs. J said, I've got Crow, Tom Servo, and Gypsy, right? I love MST3K. So because of that, for me, I also give this a 3.
Okay, 3. Middle of the road.
3.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fun. All right, now we have the look.
The look. Okay, you go first on this one.
All right. I think the look of this machine is pretty fantastic. I think that the backglass art is really detailed and has a lot of little hidden jokes in it. The haunted house itself looks really cool. I love how the windows like light up, you know, when certain things are done with little hands that are like creeping in. I love like the cellar, and the deadheads are really cool looking. I love the little like gargoyles that are all around the playfield, the ones that hop up, and also the ones that are like drawn in like inner tubes and stuff like that. Super fun, super well done, matches the theme that they're going for. So for me, I give this look a 4.
A 4?
Out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
It's not like a 4.5, but it's not, it meets expectations. I think this goes above and beyond what the theme was.
Yeah. Deal. Okay. Well, I, along the same lines of you, I don't mind the look of it. I like the haunted house in the back. I like the style in which the things were drawn.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's very cool. It's a bit unique. It's fun. I also liked the fun little aspects in there, like the coffin that you can lock balls in that's, you know, along that.
The trunk.
Yep, exactly, the trunk. I also like the deadhead aspect, the little skull that pops down. I think that's fun. Overall, the case of it, I like the, you know, the playfield part, but up the sides and, you know, across the top.
Not your favorite?
I feel like it's like, you know, pinup girl style.
That's definitely what they're going for.
Exactly.
Definitely what they're going for.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know that I'd want this in my house. It's not exactly my style. So that's my only complaint. But I do like the playfield and the things going on in there. So I'm going to give it middle of the road 3.
You 3?
Yep,
Okay.
I give it a
So
3.
if we average our scores together, we're giving this
3.5.
3.5?
Yep, deal.
Okay, so 3.5 for the look. Now we have the sound of the machine.
The sound.
Do you want to go first?
I will go first. I feel like the sound matches the machine. It's like, ooh,
Yeah,
haunted.
the theremin.
Yeah, exactly. Haunted, kind of creepy. I don't love it. like I said, I get that it matches the style of the machine, but it just isn't something that I'm like, okay, this is cool. I don't love like the voices of the characters. I just don't love it. I go back to like the music machines or even things that have iconic soundtracks.
Like Jurassic Park.
Like Jurassic Park, exactly. I don't know if Elvira does or doesn't have a soundtrack to her. Like maybe...
She sings a song in one of her movies, I know that.
Oh, well, I mean, something cool that would have been more of a throwback, I think would have been really cool. But yeah, there's just a lot of theremin and ooh, spooky.
Yeah,
and I was
that's true.
like,
That's true.
"Nyeh." So that's how I feel. I gave it a 2.
Oh, you gave it a 2?
I gave it a 2.
Wow, okay. Okay, that's low.
Yeah.
I think that the sound effects are fun. I like when you hit the gargoyles, it makes a little woo. I think a lot of the sound effects with like the crypt opening or the haunted house is really cool. I think Elvira herself does a great job with the call-outs. You obviously didn't like her as much. I was familiar with Elvira before discovering this pinball machine. I have kind of an appreciation. My little brother loves Elvira. I think that was really done well. And the fact that she came back like in her, I don't know, she's got to be like 60 years old.
Oh, she's old, right?
Yeah. To do all of this and make all the jokes, I think that's great. I love the little like, don't go around, like kind of Dracula guy that's doing some of the call-outs. So the call-outs are great. The sound effects are great. It's the music. I don't, like she said, like the theremin spooky is fun for a little bit. But I've put about 500 games onto this machine. I'm a little sick of it.
Yeah.
I think that when you get House Party and you get the shout, da, 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 da,
Yeah.
like that's super cool.
There are fun aspects to the sound, and I wish it was more throughout.
Yeah, that's kind of, so for me, I gave this a 3.
Yeah, okay.
So you gave it a 2. I gave, so are we going middle of the road again?
2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sorry,
Okay.
Elvira.
Sorry.
I'm the problem, it's me.
All right, next we have the feel.
the feel. Next, sweet.
Yeah, so do you want me to go first on this one?
Yep, go first.
This is one that has definitely gone through stages for me. I think that the feel of Elvira is good, but not great. It's a 2-flipper game, right? It is very reliant on that front door shot.
Yep.
The front door shot is everything. And the front door gives you back your ball in weird places, right? Sometimes it'll go to the right, to the pop bumpers. Sometimes it'll go to left, to the orbit. Sometimes it shoots back out at you towards the middle of the play field.
Yeah.
It's not as predictable, and it gets a little bit, it's a slower machine too than the last two we've had, right? We've had Jurassic Park, we had Foo Fighters, both very fast playing machines. This was very slow.
Yeah.
One thing that this game did for me personally, it really made me work on my ball control. I got a lot better at some micro flips, at some drop catches, at post passing. I got better at those things because this machine requires it. And because it's a little bit slower, you have the time to do it. So for that, I feel like it had a good feel to it, but not a great, it's not a feel that I'm like craving and going back to and wishing that I could play all the time. So I give this machine a feel of 3.
Deal.
Meets expectations.
There we go. I gave it a 3 as well. I
Okay.
mean, there's nothing crazy special about it. I like that once you got it going, I feel like you could get a decent flow. I like the pop bumpers in the top. You know, you've got your classic just 2 right and left lanes, and that's about, or ramps, sorry,
Yep.
that's about it when it comes to ramps. The rest is really what you talked about, focusing on that front
door,
cellar door. And then, you know, you've got the deadhead off to the side and a few other things you can do. I feel like it was pretty simple.
Yep.
It was, like you said, very much a slower game, especially coming off of Foo Fighters. Foo
Oh, yeah.
Fighters was a little bit faster.
Pretty quick.
And so it was very interesting when they brought this one in right after having played that. And I was like, whoa.
Yep.
You know, just very different. Nothing I loved or hated about the feel.
Okay.
Just a solid 3. It
Solid
was
3.
nothing to write home about. It was a solid 3.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. Solid 3. All right, and last but not least, we have the play of the game. This is where I think you and I are going to disagree the most.
100%. I have some opinions.
Do you want to go first or second?
Yes, I'd love to go first.
Okay.
Okay, first off, I'm giving the play a 2.
Ooh.
And part of this, I didn't know what category to put it in, but there are so many like little video montages and stuff that I'm like, I just need to skip through it. And you can skip through them somewhat quickly sometimes, but then other ones like at the very end, I'm like, just come on, just like skip through it. I'm not here to watch a movie, I'm here to play pinball. If I wanted to watch Elvira, I would watch Elvira. But I don't want to. I just want to play the game. And so I feel like there is a lot of the video montages, and I feel like that disrupts the play.
Okay.
But I feel like I may be alone in that. I know people like that, but that's how I feel. And number 2, constant training for me.
Oh yeah, you had a hard time.
I had a really hard time with this one. Ball saves, very slim. Extra balls, slim to none. I feel like this is a really hard machine, and maybe that just says something about me and that I'm not a very good player, and I will take that. But another, thing that we're considering with bringing a machine into our house is how user-friendly is it to the general public? I want this to be a machine that, there are going to be harder ones, there's going to be easier ones, because we plan on having multiple someday. But I want, this is not going to be our easy player-friendly machine. We had other people come over and they struggled on it too. And it just wasn't one that I was really gravitating towards. We've got a puzzle table down here, and me and Cameron would switch off playing, and I'd be like, nah. I'm done. I just didn't find myself gravitating towards it. So that's my spiel on the play.
Okay.
That's how I feel on the play.
That's some strong opinions.
Yeah.
Similar to how we both had very different scores for the look, we have very different scores for the play. You gave it a 2.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.
Deal. There we go.
And it's evolved for me, right? So this game probably started off as a 3. I liked it. I thought it was meeting expectations, but as I learned to do more ball control, the game started to open up. We learned pretty quick, I can choose which haunt I want to do.
Yeah.
And then I figured out the pros and cons of each haunt. And that allowed me to start getting House Party a lot.
Yeah.
Being able to get to that mode quite a bit. I eventually was able to get where I could get to Gappa Angry every once in a while, which is fun. I had a pretty decent score. I figured out the deadheads. You can skip through the little video modes, which is nice. Not the final trailer, like leading up to it.
Yeah.
That annoyed me. But I think the rule set to this is deep, and I appreciated that. I felt like I was always having to think strategically, and I enjoy that when I'm playing pinball. I love doing the strategic thinking. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, if I stack this and this and this, that's how I can try and beat my high score, or that's how I can get in my top 4 scores, right? So for me, I got to give this a 4 because I like the complexity of it. I love the puzzle aspect of it. And getting some of those, like getting House Party, like I would actually start dancing. I loved doing it.
He would, he's not lying.
And whenever I could get an extra ball, because they are hard to come by, man, did I feel like I was amazing at pinball, even though I'm really not. And the like 3 times I've gotten to Gap angry, oh my gosh. I was so excited that I drained like right away. Sorry. But so for me, I think this is a 4. So with you a 2, me a 4.
3.
Gets a 3 again.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got to total it up, and I wasn't keeping track while we were going.
I was not either.
So we got a 3 for theme.
Yes.
We have a 3 from the 2 of us for look.
Look, correct.
So that's 6 total. Sound.
I gave it a 2.
And I gave it a 3, so it was a 2.5. So
Yep.
that's 8.5. The feel.
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3, so we're
And
up
then-
to 11.5.
And then an additional 3 for the play.
So that's a 14.5 out of 25.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a rough score.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you feel. I think my scores definitely dragged it down. But I mean, out of the 3 that we've had in our basement so far, Jurassic Park, Foo Fighters, and now Elvira.
Clearly
it's
at the bottom.
Clear 3 for me. What
Clearly. about you? Definitely number 3 on
Yeah.
the list. Like for ranking, yeah, definitely number 3 for me.
Yep.
So 14.5. If I did the math wrong, I will come in and I will change that
He'll figure it out.
in the editing process. So,
Bingo.
but we're gonna put the sheet up
Yeah.
with all the final scores. You can read them all right here. Total 14.5, and
Bingo.
for us, number 3 on our machines that we've had in the house.
I'm excited for a new one. I'm excited for our next machine.
I'm very excited for our next machine. We're not going to spoil what it is yet, but let's just say it's
gonna
a
be
newer one, and it's going to be super fun.
I'm really excited.
I'm really excited too. Well, thank you for joining us in our quick little review of Elvira's House of Horrors. Any parting words?
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Find a local arcade. This machine is for some people and not for others, and that is totally cool.
Oh, yeah.
That is why we're doing this whole rental process, is to figure out, you know, what's going to work well in our home arcade someday.
Yep.
And we're going to get there. So, yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got. Okay. Hey, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Pinball Pursuit. And until next time.
Keep flipping.